And so so after the 28 days, my sister from Ireland flew over, and she drove me up to Edinburgh, and she drove me up to Edinburgh where stayed in my flat, and I basically was signed off work for 6 months. And I was off work for 6 months. I was on a plethora of medicine. I'd seen my doctor regularly. And then about 3 weeks after arriving back from Edinburgh, I wanted to go to church.
Right, okay.
I had this notion in my head I wanted to go to church. And I'm obviously Irish, and I'm Catholic. I was Catholic at this point, and I wanted to go to a Catholic church. And I remember walking down Edinburgh, Princess Street, going to the top of Lothian Road, and going into St. Mary's Church in the top of Leith Walk in Edinburgh. And church was empty. There was no mass. There was no people inside the church, just an empty church. And I remember walking along the Stations of the Cross. Do you know what Stations of the Cross are?
Yeah.
So it's like from when Jesus is sent to death till his resting place in the tomb,
Right.
crucified, and where he carries the cross and falls and all the rest. And I remember I'm up in the church, and I'm walking from the left all the way down to the right, and I can see the images of Jesus in the pictures.
Yeah.
And when I get to the picture where he's crucified on the cross, I start to well up again, and I break down crying. And that to me was the emotion of religion in my head,
Right.
being broken. And so I run back to the flat in Edinburgh, and I phone Panchali, and I'm saying to Panchali, look, God's spoken to me. God touched me at that church. And she's like, Patrick, you're sick.
Yeah.
Call the doctors again. You need more medicine. You're not well. And I'm saying that God spoke to me. He reached out and touched me in that church in that instant. And she's like, no, he didn't. You're sick. You're hallucinating. You need to get more medication again. And yeah, so.
So leading up to that point, was there like anything going on in your life, like
No.
work stuff? Or?
I think that here's the thing for me with my bipolar and how I was raised. I don't want to let nobody down.
Yeah.
I don't want to fail anybody. 2009 was the recession years with work, and people are losing their jobs. And I thought if I could make as much money for the company and that job, I would save a few jobs in the grand scheme of things. And I didn't want to let people down. That's the honest answer. I didn't want to let people down. And I'm too honest for my own self. Like,